acted by various agents employing various implements. The fifth is the result that is dominant, that is, the remaining results that are obtained, with the exception of the previous four. According to the Yogacarabhimi Sastra and others, the result as retribution is acquired through the foundation consisting of seeds, the similar result is acquired through the foundation consisting of promotion, the result of disentanglement is acquired through the foundation consisting of true views, the result of the operations of the person is acquired through the foundation consisting of the operations of the person, and the dominant result is acquired through the remaining foundations.
The words foundation that is perfuming indicate all the energies of various foundations that promote the result that is retribution. The words foundation that is promotion, antecedent, indicate all the energies of various foundations that attract results that are similar. The words foundation that is true view, antecedent, indicate all the energies of various foundations that realize the result that is disentanglement. The words foundation consisting of the operations of the person, antecedent, indicate all the energetics of various foundations that create the results of the operations of the person. The words remaining foundations indicate all the energetics of various foundations that acquire dominant results. If these correspondences were other than this, they would necessarily be too loose or too restricted.
Or, according to a divergent interpretation, the foundation consisting of perfuming applies only to the third foundation. Even though cause as retribution also exists in other foundations, and although there are causes that are not retribution in this foundation, still cause as retribution is distant from its result, and the same is so of perfuming, and for that reason it can be said in a sense, that this foundation is the basis for the result that is retribution.
The foundation consisting of promotion applies only to the 11th foundation. Even though the result that is similar is found in other foundations, and although results that are not similar are found in this foundation, still this cause summons the superior, Dharmas, and its mode of activity is obvious, and for that reason it is said in a sense, that this foundation is the basis for the result that is similar.
The words foundation consisting of true view only explain the 10th foundation. Even though other foundations are also able to realize disentanglement, and although this foundation is capable of realizing that which is not disentanglement, still its mode of activity of realizing disentanglement is obvious. And for that reason it is said in a sense, that it is the basis of the result consisting of disentanglement.
The words foundation consisting of the operations of the person only explain the 9th foundation. Even though the result of the operations of the person is summoned by other foundations, and although this foundation is capable of summoning the dominant result, etc., its name and mode of activity are obvious, and for that reason it is said in a sense that it is the basis for the result of the operations of the person.
The words other foundations apply only to the remaining 11 foundations. Even though these 11 foundations acquire other results, and although other foundations are also capable of summoning the dominant result, still these 11 frequently summon the dominant result, and the remainder manifest the others, and for that reason, it is said in a sense, that these foundations manifest the dominant result.
Of the 5 results so discussed, in the case of the result that is retribution, it is acquired by the projecting, productive, particular, identical activity, and non-opposing causes, along with the dominant condition. In the case of the result that is similar, it is acquired by the projecting, productive, assisting, attracting, particular, identical activity, and non-opposing causes, along with the condition as cause and the dominant condition. In the case of to be result that is disentanglement, it is acquired by the assisting, attracting, particular, identical activity, and non-opposing causes, as well as the dominant condition. In the case of the results of the operations of the person, there is an interpretation that it is acquired by the contemplation, assisting, identical activity, and non-opposing causes, as well as the dominant condition. According to another interpretation, it is acquired by the contemplation, projecting, productive, assisting, attracting, particular, identical activity, and non-opposing causes, as well as the 3 conditions other than the condition as object. In the case of the dominant result, it is possible for it to be acquired by all 10 causes and 4 conditions. Now that we have examined this peripheral matter, of the 5 results, let us return to the proper matter, of conditionality.
8. Seeds and actual dharmas. The seeds in the root consciousness in their generation of actual imaginations may constitute 3 conditions, excluding the similar and immediately antecedent condition. That is, each parent seed is a condition as cause for that, which is its direct result. It is a condition as object for that which has it as an object. If seeds have the power to help and do not obstruct the results, they are dominant conditions. You should understand that this is also the case in their production of pure actual dharmas.
Actual imaginations in their mutual assistance may constitute among themselves 3 conditions, because they are not conditions as cause. That is, different sentient beings may constitute 2 conditions for each other, excluding acting as similar and immediately antecedent conditions. Among the 8 consciousnesses that constitute one's own group, they are definitely dominant conditions for each other, but they must not be similar and immediately antecedent conditions, but they may or may not be conditions as objects. The 8th consciousness may be a condition as object for the 7th, but the 7th is not for the 8th, and the remaining 7 are not for the 8th, because they are not the essence on which it is based. The 7th is not a condition as object for the 5 first consciousnesses, but it is for the 6th. None of the remaining 6 are conditions as objects for the 7th. The 6th is not a condition as object for the first 5, and the remaining 5 are for that 6th, because the first 5 consciousnesses rely only on the images of the 8th.
In the succession of consciousness of the same species, the 6th may be 3 kinds of conditions, but the other 7 are not conditions as objects for successors, because they grasp actual objects. As for the opinion of Dignaga, that the subsequent seeing part of the 5 first consciousnesses has as its object the prior image, the sequence of the 5 consciousnesses, and the 7th constitute 3 conditions. Also, according to Dignaga, the prior 7 may be objects for the 8th, because they can perfume and create the seeds of the seen and seeing parts of that 8th consciousness.
Dharmas of the same group but of different substances are only dominant conditions among themselves, because the supporting essence of associated dharmas is the same and they do not have each other as objects. Or, according to Dignaga, it is on the basis of the seeing part that it is said that they do not have each other as objects, and it is on the basis of the seen part that it is said that there is the meaning of having each other as objects. That is, the various seen parts arise with each other as essences, just as the seeds in the store consciousness are the essences for contact, etc., because if that is not so, they must be devoid of objects in the formless realms. Conceding that consciousness transforms into form, it definitely also has seeds as objects, because it may not be that the objects of the seeing part are not of a common essence.
Seen parts of the same substance act as 2 conditions for the seeing part. The seeing part is just the dominant condition for that seen part. The same is the case between the seeing part and the self-authenticating part, i.e., the Svasamvidibhaga. In the mutual assistance of the remaining 2 parts, they are 2 conditions for each other. In this matter, the explanation is not based on seeds as the seen and seeing parts, because we have been making the point that actual dharmas are conditions for each other.
The group of the 8 consciousnesses when purified are all objects for each other in their mutual assistance, because they are all able to have all things as objects. Only the seeing part is excluded as not being an object for the seen part, because the seen part in principle is devoid of the function of having objects. Since actual imaginations are born with both seeds and the actual dharmas as objects, the seeds also, in principle, arise with actual dharmas and seeds as objects.
How many conditions can actual dharmas and seeds be for seeds? Seeds cannot arise from the middle 2 conditions, Samanantara and Glambana, because these, too, are established in dependence on mind and mental activities. Actual dharmas altogether make 2 conditions for the immediate seeds, but they are only dominant conditions for seeds that are not immediate, in succession. 2 conditions altogether of seeds in relation to immediate seeds, but only the dominant condition for seeds that are not immediate. On the basis of the arising of an internal consciousness through mutual conditioning, there is a cause and result, structure, of the imaginations, as demonstrated by teachings and reason. Even granting that objects that are external to mind, such as are grasped by the small vehicle, really exist, they have no function. Even more, they contradict reason and teachings, so why be attached to them? Even though the term imaginations indicates in general mind and mental activities of the three realms, still a number of them are discussed in the holy teaching in accordance with their prominence, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., as explained at length in other treatises.